morning, this is Vaughan in Nova Scotia. I thought I would do a little video today on the actual garden, show the progression throughout the summer. And this is all my tomato plants, and a bit of a shadow there, and I've got some dahlias in front there with tomato plants behind. And these are all parsnips. I'm growing a lot of vegetables this year. They're doing great. And then here we have the straw flowers after the parsnips. Straw flowers are gorgeous. They last way into the fall, and then you can use them as dry flowered arrangements. And of course we've got the nasturtiums on the ramp. You won't be able to see too much because of the sun. And you go walk backwards up the ramp. Nasturtiums do really well here. I grow them from seed every year. So you've got tomato plants all up the other side of the bank. There's 40 odd tomato plants there. And then I've been planting hedges all last three years, I guess. So I've got all sorts of flowering hedges all the way along there. There's the studio gallery. I have another bed. These are all flowers, of course. This is a bed I've been putting together for several years. And it's right on the road, so we do get a lot of salt sprayed in the winter. There you go. And across the road we have a new bed we only planted last year. And this is right on the edge of the cliff, basically, dropping down 15-20 feet. And so this actually gets very dry. But we planted this bed up with a lot of wishful thinking, hoping it will actually survive. And everything came back this year. Nothing died. But the wind rips across this bank if you get a nor'easter or a hurricane. And our plan in the next few months, if not early next year, is to remove our parking lot because nobody parks in it. We're right on the road. Everybody just prefers to park on the road. And then this is the other side of that bed that we have. Those are rose campions. It took 2 years for those to actually establish and get in. The rest of these are forsythia bushes, which I have to come in and trim. They're really growing well this year. It's been fairly wet. It was dry for a spell, but that's my neighbor's sign there. They're a jewelry studio next to me. I plant bushes very close together, so you get these. Hopefully as the bushes grow, you can see the little hydrangeas poking up their heads just above the other bushes. And these are spirea in the foreground. I like the idea that bushes mingle together rather than just be separate. And this is just Rosa rugosa, which will form a large hedge eventually. And there are other roses in the back there as well. But this whole parking area here is gravel, and the weeds come through it. So we're planning on just digging the gravel out. I've asked the guy to come in and put me 6 inches of topsoil over the whole thing. And we're going to try and produce a little sculpture garden. and everything is still green. We are getting enough rain so we don't end up with the usual brown lawns in the summertime. Once again, this is a hedge I planted 3 years ago of flowering bushes. Some of them coming up really well and others are taking a bit longer. One died in this little hedge. That's a hassberry bush there. So we'll get hassberries. And there's a dwarf lilac with a large tree right above it, so that will be interested to see who wins that battle. And this is my longest established bed. It has rhubarb in the front because that makes a great decorative leaf, I think. And you've got delphiniums are behind it, which come every year. They've kind of fallen over a bit this year. I'm not sure whether, I think maybe next year I should put some compost down on top of that soil. I'm not sure what the red flower's called. If somebody knows, let me know in the comments. But as you can see, it blends together really well. The hostas get lost in the back of it because there's a lot of hostas there. This is my greenhouse. That's radicchio in the pots behind on the shelf there, and they're doing really well. So that will be really good salad eating. So I do a lot of potting up in the greenhouse. We grow a lot of food. So in here I've got little seedlings in tiny little cups that are for my September salad. And then in here it's all basil and field greens. Mesclun mix, as they call it in a lot of places, and peppers in the back there. And all my tools are in here too. And because we're in Nova Scotia, I figured I needed a plow truck for the snow, and we did in 2015. But I have a plow truck there, just in case. And it's only been one bad winter out of 10. So this is the raised bed that I built during the lockdown period. So I kept busy in the lockdown. And this is my squash patch. So we've got butternut, acorn, and dumpling squash. And whether they cross-pollinate, we don't know. Somebody told me they will, and somebody else said that it's just the seeds that won't be usable. So in the back there you've got beans and cucumbers here. These are all starting to climb up. It's really well grown in at this point. I've posted pictures previously of it when it wasn't grown in. But now it's grown in so thickly. I'm already harvesting broccoli. I've had carrots out of it already. All the radishes died already. I took those out because they were getting woody. And then those are Brussels sprouts, all in there. And this is the end that has the corn in it, which is growing really well. I would say that corn is nearly 5 feet high already. Alright, so from this end, inside there we have not sweet, I think they're like a swede right in the side to the left there, and behind it we've got all Brussels sprouts. And then if you can just see, I have red cabbage. Pull that back a little bit. We have red cabbage down in there, and there's Brussels sprouts forming on all of the actual plants. And then broccoli here. I've been harvesting broccoli quite a bit already. I'm letting that one go to seed so I can get the seeds out of it for next year. Then we've got cabbages, which I was probably going to harvest. And this is a few asparagus, hoping to still be around here in 3 years' time. You never know with COVID, but More Brussels sprouts. We're going to have lots of Brussels sprouts. And then that's where I had radishes in there, and I took those out. And then you've got carrots all at the back there. I've already taken some of those out too. And then lots of onions. And then the potato forest. And this has been thriving. I mean, and more onions in front there as well, but the potatoes are enormous. I mean, I don't know how tall a potato plant's supposed to get, but those are 4 feet high. And I do not know what I did. Maybe the plant's going to be so huge and the potatoes will be tiny. But the potato plants have just gone crazy. I just used cow manure, sheep manure, and peat moss with topsoil, black earth as they call it, from the Farmers Co-op here in Bridgewater. Mixed it 1 part peat moss, 2 parts topsoil, and 1 part cow manure or sheep manure, and then tilled it all in. And I added 3 whole 50-pound bags of lime to the whole bed, so it's trying to neutralize any acid. That's my compost bin right there as well. And I think that's it for the garden tour. There's some hostas down there as well. But so this is Nova Scotia on July 19th. It's a gorgeous day. My wife went out for a bike ride, and there's a hummingbird there on the red flowers. He just flew away. I know Nova Scotia is one of those mysterious places that everybody thinks is in the Arctic, but it has a shorter season than a lot of places, obviously, but because we're northern eastern Canada. So all right, well, thanks for joining me. This is Bourne Smith in Nova Scotia, finishing up with a view of the gallery and the studio. So stay safe and keep making pottery. Okay, thanks very much. Bye.